stars be with you.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Energetic Principles Report on the Sun moving into Taurus. So the Sun will move into Taurus on April 19th at 2:27 p.m. Pacific time. That is 5:27 p.m. Eastern time, or if you're anywhere else in the world, you can do that math. So the Sun moving into Taurus is a time where we're taking all those seeds that we want to plant, and we're doing just that. We are planting them in the ground so that we can nurture them and give them that fertile soil they need to start to sprout and grow. Because this is the time, as plants are planted during this time, and we watch their harvest in fall. So it's no different for us people folk. So now is the time to take all those ideas and inspirations and those little buds that you've been holding on to during that Aries period where we've been cultivating this new ego that we want to carry forward with. Taurus is the time to take all those little sprouts and get them in the ground and really nurture them so that we can see our fruits grow. Taurus is all about persistence and sowing that seed and just staying determined to see the growth of something. Taurus is the I have consciousness, where we get in touch with the things that we have, our tangible assets, our finances. Money is what gives us those tangible assets. But other things that are not so physical would be your resources. Resources don't always have to be something that is on this earthly plane. Sometimes the resource is what you hold inside, your self-worth and your self-esteem. So this is a perfect time for us to be cultivating what we're worth and what we can bring to society as a whole. So we're getting in touch with where we have our resources to be able to plant the things that we're trying to cultivate over the next 6-month period. So when you learn to work with the resources that you have and really develop that self-worth, that's where we can carry our desires further to be able to manifest in this world. And Taurus is all about manifesting. It's the great manifester. It can really make something out of nothing because it takes those seeds and is persistent in cultivating them and nurturing them until they grow to be what it is they desire. And we can see that in just business in general, where you take this idea or this concept and you put all the work behind it to sow those seeds, and then you see the financial abundance at the end. You feel your worth and your resources growing based on that time and energy and patience that you put forth in sowing that creative impulse, that idea, that soul seed in a sense. So Taurus is the perfect time of year to really start cultivating what we're worth. The Taurus season also a time to get in touch with our sensuality and just our sensual nature, to have time, taking the time to pamper ourselves and getting massages and trying out that new body wash or those new oils or just anything that makes us feel good in our own skin, that provides some type of comfort or stability or just overall, well-being. So Taurus really embraces that. And, some can see the Taurus as lazy or just really self-indulgent and pleasurable, but that's okay. This time of year is where we can embrace those qualities and really take a moment to have some pleasure in our lives, to appreciate the senses and the sensual nature that we all have within us. Taurus is also the time of year where we might have to be a little more steadfast about something, a little more conservative with our resources and our finances so that we can cultivate those seeds and get them to where we want them to be. Sometimes there needs to be a little cutback and some boundaries in a sense to be able to take what it is that we're planting to the next level. We'll have to see a little bit restraint and persistence in what we're doing. So just keep in mind that you might have to be a little more conservative at this time on different areas of your life, depending on where that sun in Taurus sits for you. As Stephen Forrest says, the sun can be looked at as a beam of awareness. So when the sun is in the different signs, we're getting a shot of awareness that comes into our being so that we can grow and gain more vitality from this solar energy that we're now embracing. So the sun moving into Taurus is going to help us embrace where we need to be more steady and patient and persistent and determined and dogged, dare I say, but only to some extent, because there's a fine line between being persistent and determined and being stubborn and not growing at all based on your inability to move. So just know that this is the time to kind of root yourself and stand tall in staying determined on your path. This is the time where we start to nurture the seeds of our growth. So it's not a time to be impatient or impulsive or anything. Slow goes it, because no one's trying to, no one's winning the race by rocketing ahead, especially with a lot of Mercury. Mercury, why? Let's talk about retrograde Mercury, who will be moving into Aries at the same time that the sun is moving into Taurus. So they're going to meet at 0 degrees Taurus on April 19th. And then on the 20th, Mercury will make its way back into Aries. So Mercury in Aries really focuses on moving forward. So you can only guess that retrograde Mercury in Aries might not be able to move forward as fast as it normally would like. But that's okay, because the mind, even though it may be impatient right now, it's going to have some time to become a little bit more innovative and to really rethink and review. Mercury retrograde is all about the areas of our life that we've been stumbling with, or that we've been blocking, areas of our life where we just haven't been communicating well, our intellect hasn't been working well, or maybe it has, but it could just be buttoned up to be that much better and to release things that no longer work for us to go forward. So Aries is a perfect time to really just get a whole new lease on life of the mental blocks that we've been having, especially since it's going to conjoin with Uranus before it goes direct. So this is a great time to get really innovative about where we need to find solutions for how we've been blocked in that area of our life. And so now's the time to do it. Mercury is going to station direct on May 3rd. So it may feel like it's go time then, but beware not to be too impulsive, because there's still a sensitive shadow period that we have to get through. Mercury will leave its shadow period on May 20th, which is coordinating right after we're going to be leaving Venus's retrograde period too. So mid-May, we're going to be just taking off. May is going to be an excellent month. And it's really going to set us up for the next 6 months, where there's going to be so much energy just cultivating these seeds and all this stuff that we're planting right now in the Taurus season. That's our go time there. So just be very patient at this time. Speaking of retrogrades, we have another retrograde to talk about, and that's Pluto, who will be going retrograde on April 20th, around 5:46 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And Pluto will be stationing retrograde in Capricorn. Pluto has been a little bit relentless, and you can see it all in everybody's lives, in the world, just all over the place. So when Pluto goes retrograde, and because it does so for such a long time, it's going to be a sense of relief in a way, because Pluto is the great destroyer. He moves direct and just pushes everything that's not working out of the way and just roots from the ground up and just is constantly destroying things that no longer work, which in the end is going to be a great thing. But when it's happening to you, who likes that? So Pluto going retrograde is going to actually give us some time to process all those things, all those scenarios, all those relationships in our life that have been uprooted for whatever reason. And it's going to give us time to really sit with that, understand it, gain inner strength from it. Because most importantly, Pluto retrograde is really about cultivating our inner strength. So we're going to have this whole period, coincidentally, through the end of September, when we're going to be manifesting and really bringing to life all these other aspects of our life. So we're going to get that break from Pluto, which is going to be very welcome, and we're going to come out stronger for it. So we have so much action going on during these first few days that the sun will be moving into Taurus. Not only do we have Mercury retrograding back into Aries and Pluto going retrograde, we also have Mars moving into Gemini. And Mars moving into Gemini is something that I totally know all about, considering I was born with Mars in Gemini. And my boyfriend was born in Mars in Gemini, and I just deal with that energy on a daily basis. So it's going to be a stark difference from our Mars and Taurus that's been plodding along methodically. So now Gemini is going to be taking over, and there's going to be a little more action, a little more impulse, a little more airy quality, a little lighter of a feel. You might have a little more skip in your step, might not be able to concentrate for as long as you would like. All these factors of Gemini are going to be coming into place. And Gemini is quick-witted, it's intellectual, it's communicative, it's action-oriented, and just light. So Mars is going to feel at home in Gemini more so than it did in Taurus. And not only that, when it moves into Gemini, it's going to be talking to Mercury in Aries, because they will be in mutual reception with each other, since Mercury rules Gemini and Mars rules Aries. So there's going to be just a little more, cooperative communication. There's all types of ideas and inspirations and just general talkativeness and sociability, and just a lighter, more passionate side of things are going to come out while this mutual reception is happening. So saddle up your writing pads and your journal and get those ideas on paper, because your action self is going to be behind that at this time. So depending on where your sign is in relation to Taurus is where you're going to be focusing that solar energy. So our Aries and Aries rising are going to be working on finding a new awareness in their values, in self-worth, their finances, their resources, their stability. That's actually their Taurus central. That's a second house. So it's almost like a double dose of Taurus, with the sun being in Taurus and it crossing over your second house. So just get in touch with, become more aware to where you're valuable. You hold a lot of value and a lot of worth. And you need to go out and get what it is that you're worth. You're going to be gaining more awareness, and the ego can get behind what it is that you're worth. Taurus and Taurus risings are going to be focusing on their identity and finding that inner courage and strength to gain independence and self-confidence and develop their personality more. Gemini and Gemini risings are going to be focusing on their subconscious self and that area of the chart that is rather dark and can elude us at times. As Christopher Witecki says, it's called weeding the soul garden. So right now, Geminis are going to be having their annual release and bringing to light what's been hidden. And there could be a wonderful time for dreams and inspiration to come to them. Cancer and Cancer risings are going to be working on their social networking and their friends and the groups that they're involved with. It's going to be a time of goal setting and how to realize those goals that we put forth. You might want to join an organization at this time that does good for others, has a humanitarian bent. But it's a really good time to get in touch with your goals in life, where you're trying to carry yourself, and getting around the right people that can help make those a reality. Leo and Leo risings are going to be dealing with their career and their legacy, what they do for a living and how the outside world sees them and what they gain recognition for. It could have also to do with shedding some awareness on how you are as a parent, or if you're becoming a parent, and how you deal with authority and how you put that authority out to others and out to the world in general. Are you standing strongly in that area? You can also be really focusing on where you're to put your ambition now. And so that career portion and just your overall, how the world is viewing you you're going to get a little self-awareness in that aspect of your life. Virgo and Virgo risings are going to be focusing on higher education and gaining more understanding about concepts, and maybe looking into taking a long journey of some sort. And that journey doesn't have to be, across the world. It can be across the world in your bedroom, if you pick up a good book or learn a new study, or just take your mind somewhere it's never been before. This is a time when you can become bored and you need to expand your horizons in some way. So the Virgos will be looking at what seeds they can plant to develop their life's philosophy a little bit more. Libra and Libra risings are going to be working on transformative time of their life. They're going to be gaining some awareness in the areas that they need to change. They're really get into that psychic and spiritual power that they have deep within that they might not be utilizing to its best ability. A lot of times there's a crisis point that might be reached, or there might have already been a crisis to where you're gaining new awareness around what has happened, so that you can, like the butterfly, wiggle out of your cocoon and become this new strong being that's learned from its lessons and has gained just a personal power to move forward. Scorpio and Scorpio risings are going to be working on partnerships and relating to other people and gaining awareness on how they interact with the other, whether it's your boyfriend or girlfriend, it's your best friend, that enemy that you can't seem to shake. Whatever it is going to be gaining a little bit of awareness in that area of your life. And it can also deal with some of our shadow aspects and things that we don't realize that we do that's coming out with us through the other. So this is a good time to learn through the other for Scorpio and Scorpio risings. It's also a great time to focus on legalities and contracts. And just any type of opposition that's in our lives can be looked at with a little more light shown down in that area. Sagittarius and Sagittarius risings are going to be working on their day-to-day activities, what their life looks like from the morning through the evening. What is it that you do every day? What habits do you have? How good is your health? How is your nutritional intake? So this is a time where the Sagittarius is going to be really gaining a little more awareness on how well they take care of themselves and how they utilize their day to its best ability. There may be some changes in that area that we're getting used to right now. So just know that the day-to-day activity and your environment might change at this time, or you might get a little awareness into it of what it is that you want to change about it. It's also going to be focusing on work and service. So there could be some type of new awareness on what it is that you need in your day-to-day reality to gain a little bit more meaning in what it is that you do. Capricorn and Capricorn rising are going to be focusing on love and romance. So not a bad place for the Capricorns this month. We're going to have some new awareness shining down in our creative projects. We're going to be able to sow the seeds of our creative little babies. It'll also be a very fertile time if you're trying to make a baby, especially in Taurus, planting those seeds. Need I say more? So just be aware, Capricorns, if you're not looking for that, just be aware. Also, it's a great time for sports and play and just having entertainment, just having a good time. Let the Capricorns are not known for having a good time all the time, It's not the easiest area of Capricorn, speaking as a Capricorn moon, I know. So this is a fantastic time to gain awareness in where you derive joy from. So Capricorns, put your feet up and take a moment and just enjoy this lighter time of year. Pick up a new hobby. Hey, you never know what it is where you might find love. Aquarius and Aquarius risings are going to be dealing with home and family, their foundation. So there can be some new light shown on your home situation, or where there might have been some endings that have happened recently that you're still trying to come to terms with, and you're trying to gain light on things that are falling away from your life, which is okay, because it's for the better. It's also a time to really get in touch with early conditioning, and how we were raised, and where little parts of those aspects that were handed down from our parents or our ancestry or just our familial environment might have molded us in a way that might not work for today's planting. So it's a great time to release a lot of that psychological energy that stays rooted in that foundation that might not work for us any longer, so we can build a stronger platform to stand on. Pisces and Pisces rising are going to be shedding some light on how they communicate and where their intellectual faculties lie. There could be some new things coming to surface of what the proper way to communicate with people are. And just socializing in general is going to be lit up a little bit more, and some weekend trips, or just hanging out with friends a little bit more, and just shooting ideas from the hip. It's just more energetic. Life will speed up a little bit for the Pisces, as a lot of new information is going to be coming their way during this time period. It's also a time of siblings and neighbors, and just your neighborhood in general. So issues around those two things could come up to gain some self-awareness regarding. So Pisces, get out there and flap those lips, socialize, just get that spirit out there and share with your community. So let's see what the cards have in store for the Sun in Taurus. So it looks like we're going to be reinforcing that Taurus energy and that Earth energy that's going to be around us at this time. We have the focus of the Three of Pentacles, and then we have the grounding in the Father or the King of Pentacles. So the Three of Pentacles has to do with disciplining ourselves and strategizing in a way of how we're going to get all this hard work done. Can feel a little overwhelming because these are the first stages of our project, and we really have to put our backs into it to get manifesting what it is that we're trying to manifest. So don't get too overwhelmed at this time, because there are a lot of people that can help us. When we're all here to help each other. So if you feel like you're overwhelmed, or you're just working too hard and you're just trying to get this thing manifested, reach out to some folks to help you out. Get a team going to divvy up and delegate some of that work that needs to be done. Or just sometimes when you get some friends in just for opinions that can help strategize the areas of where you can put your hard work and efforts into, so that you're working smarter, not harder. Get a couple brains in on that, so that you can maybe look at it a different way. But either way, we're going to be very much focused on what it is that we can do at this time to help develop all that it is that we're trying to manifest. And then the grounding card sits with the Father of Pentacles, which the Father of Pentacles is all about prioritizing and stability, you know. So you have to have that as your priority. You have to have laying down a base foundation and being diligent at your work as a priority. Because hard work is never done if it is not prioritized. No one goes out and is like, let me just work as hard as I can for the hell of it. No, it has to be a priority of yours. There has to be some type of fruit that is coming out of this labor. And, you know, the Father of Pentacles has to do a lot of times with entrepreneurs. So there may be a lot of you out there that are trying to get your own things started. And if you've ever tried to do your own thing, which speaking from experience, I know, it requires a lot of hard work and dedication. So just know that if that is in your course, that those attributes are going to be required of you. So just take that earth energy and really just take it in. It might sound overwhelming at first, you know, all these responsibilities that earth brings, but the rewards are beyond what you can imagine. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and once again we have a sleepy little kitty that wants to say hi. Loretta says hi. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and as always, may the stars be with you. They smell good.